Hello everyone, and welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem Webinar Room. My name is Juanita Archuleta, and I work here in the Denver office. We do have a very special event for you today with Steve Wheeler of NaviTrader, so welcome to the room, Steve. I would like to mention that it is important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity futures contracts and Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond this amount. Please inquire at the following link for a full copy of the CFTC risk disclosure, or if you have any additional questions. Please keep in mind that these webinars are not these webinars are not training webinars. They're not a solicitation nor are they a recommendation, but simply educational in nature. This presentation is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Any brokerage-related questions for the NinjaTrader brokerage team should be sent directly to them using the following email or phone number. I'm going to place that in the room. With new tools now added nearly every day, NinjaTrader Ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find these tools or services you are looking for with a simple keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars and an on-demand video archive to view previous events. Also, if you are active on social media, we do ask that you follow us on Facebook or Twitter to get all things NinjaTrader Ecosystem. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of NinjaTrader, please feel free to pick up a live data trial using the following link. You are also welcome to purchase or lease NinjaTrader using the following link. And if you are just getting started, here with NinjaTrader, we do offer free live training on a daily basis. We are very excited in this unique event in which Steve will explain how micro futures could be a game changer for your trading. Thank you again to everybody who was able to join us here, and without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the room Steve. Go ahead and take it away, Steve.
Thanks, Juanita. Let's just do one more sound check to make sure everyone's hearing me okay. So just type an A into the response area if you're hearing me okay. All right, so awesome turnout here today. We appreciate the opportunity to do these webinars with NinjaTrader. Here at NaviTrader, we've been here since 2002, about the same length of time that NinjaTrader's been around. And I've traded for over 30 years. I trade each day in my own account using both my own charts and indicators, or NaviTrader charts and indicators, as well as fully automated systems. All right, so a couple of announcements here before we get going. For all those people who send an email to support@navitrader.com, we're going to invite you to 2 free weeks in our live market room sessions. And you'll also be entitled to a $100 coupon toward our special that we're going to announce later today. And we're also doing a drawing at the end of the webinar today. We're going to give 2 winners to this drawing. A 1-year subscription to our Strategy Finder software. That's software that we've developed here at NaviTrader. You can actually automate your testing and actually develop strategies from that. All right, so let's go ahead and get going here. If you do have any questions today, be sure and type them into the question area. A little bit about what we're going to cover here today. We're going to talk about how you can accomplish your goals. Hopefully, your trading goals, we'll focus on that, but hopefully if you accomplish your trading goals, it'll open up other goal attainments for you as well. We're going to talk about some of the root causes of problems that get in the way of a lot of traders' success, and how to tackle those root problems. We'll talk about how to design a plan to trade much more successfully than you're doing now, how to avoid some of the biggest mistakes in trading, and so on. We will get into micro futures contracts. Now, this is a new development with the CME starting in May of this year. They've developed the micro futures, so we're going to get into that just a little bit further along in the webinar. All right, so let's talk about how to break down some of the biggest barriers to your trading success, and what are they? Okay, in general, I would say a couple of the biggest barriers are for people being over-leveraged And the second barrier would be they typically either they don't have a system, or if they do have a system, they're really not following it. All right, so just like any evolution, the evolution of a trader is really, you first have to start trading. Of course, if you've done any trading at all, you've probably inflicted some pain on your account from time to time. And in a sense, that really puts you ahead of the people that haven't done so. But any pain plus reflection equals progress. That's what we're going to talk about here today. Any evolution, you either adapt or die. So trading is no different. So we're going to talk about how you can adapt some new things that are now available to you with these micro futures contracts. Now, one of the biggest hurdles for a lot of traders is really from a psychological standpoint. In order to be a successful trader, you need to be a hyper-realist, and we're going to talk about that more as we go along. But essentially, really trading gets down to you need to know market direction, and you need to manage your risk correctly. Now, from a psychological standpoint, all humans, and I'm assuming everyone in here is part of that group, have a blind spot and they have emotions. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Also our ego, part of our brain that prevents you from acknowledging your weaknesses objectively. All right, so when you're in a trade, you need to have a healthy fear of being on the wrong side of the trade, because we all have this blind spot from a psychological standpoint. Essentially what that means is most all of us get into a trade thinking that we can see everything, and no person can. We have to accept the fact that whenever we get into a trade that we really don't know exactly what's going to happen with that trade. All right, so what we want to focus on here today is how to make quality decisions based on objective data, and then execute your decisions accordingly. All right, so now to trade successfully, one of the main components is you need to have a systematic approach. And I'm going to show you some examples of that in just a few minutes of how to trade from a systematic standpoint. And whatever systematic method you're using, you need to actually test the rules, and then thirdly, actually use them. And that's an area that gets a lot of people in trouble. Okay, so the other area of your trading is properly balancing risk and reward. Now today, in terms of announcing this webinar, one of the areas that we mentioned is the micro futures contracts. And it's my opinion that the micro futures contracts give you a huge advantage that you haven't had before in terms of properly balancing risk and reward. Most all of us know that in order to be more successful, we have to take on more risk. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you properly balance risk and reward. And I'm going to give you some guidelines as we go along today on how to better balance risk and reward. I would contend that that's probably the biggest hurdle that most traders are up against, is properly balancing risk and reward. The other hurdle that they have is in not really having an objective system that they're following. All right, so let's talk about risk in futures. The risk in futures is actually the tick value times the number of contracts times the distance where your ticks are from where your stop is from your entry. Distance and ticks from where your stop is from your entry. So that's from a mathematical standpoint how we can determine the actual risk in a trade. All right, so some general guidelines as far as risk management. Number one, always use stops and always size your positions correctly. Now, one of the things I really like about the micro futures is you can enter a trade and take a very small position. Now, whenever you enter a trade, your objective on any trade entry is to get the best average price. All right, so best average price. Now, for any of you who've traded more than for a few days, you've probably had the experience you get into a trade and almost immediately the trade will move somewhat against your entry point. Rarely do any of us make the perfect entry into any trade. If people have figured that one out, let me know. But typically you're not going to make the perfect entry. But what you are trying to do with your trade entry is to get the best average price. Now, for people that are trading I'll say a smaller account, and if you're trading the stock index futures, traditionally people are probably trading 1 or 2 contracts at a time. If you are trading a small account and you're trading the E-mini or the NASDAQ futures, I will contend that you are more than likely, in a lot of cases, even over-leveraged in trading 1 contract. Now with the E-mini, the micro E-mini, the MES is a symbol, you're taking on 1/10 the risk per contract. However, you might think that, okay, I'm not going to make a lot of money trading 1 contract. Well, you don't have to just trade 1 contract, but what I am saying is you can start out and enter your trade with just maybe 1 or 2 contracts, take a very small position. If the trade's working for you, you can add to the position. If the trade's not working for you, you can then exit the trade with a very small loss. All right, so some things I'll mention about your risk management. If you're trading a small account, let's just say, for example, a $2,000 account, just keep in mind the $2,000 account, you still only have about $1,500 of available margin. Okay. So again, as I said, if you're trading the E-mini, crude oil, NASDAQ with a smaller account, most likely you are over-leveraged. All right, so we're going to talk about some guidelines in a few minutes of how you can trade the micros and, again, not be over-leveraged. I'll give you some guidelines in terms of percentage of risk that you should be taking on any one trade. All right, so 2 things you need to do to assist with your profitability. Number 1, trade a tested system, and then manage your risk. And we're going to address both those issues in the webinar today. All right, so first thing you need to do is define a set of rules and test them. Here at NaviTrader, we've been here since 2002, and we've developed charts and indicators. And of course, every day the market is unique. However, the good thing about our charts, they're going to work the same way every day. So once you learn how to use the charts, you'll know what the market's telling you on a day-by-day basis. All right, so defining a set of rules, number 1. Number 2, when those rules are identified, when you meet all your criteria for a trade, identify what you're going to do. And then number 3, how you're going to manage your risk. All right, so in terms of testing a system, there's 2 different approaches you can take. One is manually testing. In other words, if you've got a set of indicators or charts, you can determine when you've met certain criteria or certain rules for taking a trade, either long or short, and then determine over a number of trades using certain entry techniques, certain trade management, and profit targets or exiting on trailing stops, how that system would actually perform. Another approach to testing is to automate your testing. We actually have a system here at NaviTrader called the Strategy Finder. And 2 people today who do register will get a 1-year subscription to the Strategy Finder. The Strategy Finder will actually let you automate your testing using our charts and indicators to see how well they would do on various markets. All right, so when you're testing a system, some overall things you need to test. Which chart you're going to use, for example, maybe you like 5-minute charts, maybe you like range charts, maybe you like volume charts, tick charts. So you need to identify which chart to use, of course, which instrument you're going to trade. The start and stop times for your trading will make a huge difference in your overall results. In other words, when are you going to start trading, when are you going to stop trading, actually makes a big difference in your overall performance of whatever you're doing. Again, what instrument you're going to trade, what conditions need to be met for entry, how you're going to manage the trade, and how you're going to exit the trade. That's really all the components of a system. All right, so let's get into the micro futures. All right, so to me, there are a number of advantages of the micro futures. Most of you have probably tried trading in simulation mode, and most people who have tried trading in simulation mode have found that they maybe are profitable. And then when they go to live trading, all of a sudden they're not as profitable, or maybe they're losing money. All right, so the reason for that really is twofold. For one thing, it's partly psychological. When you're trading a sim account or a demo account, you don't have the fear. You're just taking trades and you're trading without a lot of fear. When you start trading live, all of a sudden the fear factor comes in, your emotions are much stronger, and things don't work as well, typically. And now with the micro futures, if you haven't tried trading them, I would urge you to do so. I think you're going to find that from a psychological standpoint, it's much, much different. When you don't have as much risk initially entering the trade, you're going to be more likely to enter trades where you should. You'll also be more likely to exit them when you should. Also, you will find that if you like taking trades, for example, today in the market made a big move up through about noon today, and then afternoon the market made a big move back to the downside. So this morning you had a big opportunity on the long side. This afternoon you had a big opportunity on the short side. All right, so we see these moves not every day, but very frequently. We'll get the big moves in one direction and the opposite direction. So with futures trading, you have these big moves where you can do what some people like to refer to as swing trading. And with the micro futures contracts, they are very well suited to doing those swing type trades. You can get in, scale into your position, and then as you're coming down to a logical support area, support or resistance area, you can scale out of your position. All right, so micro futures, lots of advantages from a psychological standpoint, also from a risk standpoint. Again, if you haven't tried them, I urge you to do so. All right, so a little bit about the micro futures. As far as the contract specifications, the symbols you can see on the screen. So E-mini is the MES, NASDAQ, MNQ, and so on. And the dollar amount per point you can see on the screen. Okay, it's really 1/10 of the corresponding contract. So the E-mini moves at $50 a point, the MES moves at $5 a point. So 1/10 the risk. But the big advantage of the micro futures is it gives you a lot more flexibility in how you trade. Also lets you get into a trade and take on very little risk initially, as long as you go in with a small position initially. All right, so here's kind of a list of the microfutures. Some of the benefits: lower funding requirements. The commissions are typically approximately 1/5 the commission per contract of what you would pay for the corresponding E-mini. Now, as far as commissions go, I do recommend contact whatever broker you're using to identify the exact commissions. I'm not here to quote commissions to anyone. All right, so microfutures, 1/10 the leverage, also 1/10 the risk. But again, don't let that get in your way. It's really a big advantage. You can get in with a small position, and then the position's working for you, add to it. Position's not working, get out quickly with a very small loss, or maybe, who knows, could be even a small gain at where you get out. But essentially, you're going in with a small position and then adding if the trade's working for you. Much easier to trade from a psychological standpoint. All right, so a big advantage there. All right, so here's just a chart example of a trade on the micro futures. This is the MYM. This is the Dow Futures, just using the volume chart. By the way, this is an example of our Trendicator charts. All right, so here you can see we've got a short position and some exit points down below where we're trading right now. Stops right above a recent pullback level. All right, so another thing I recommend to everyone is use a checklist in your trading. I'm actually an instrument pilot myself, and generally speaking, the commercial aircraft industry has a phenomenally great track record in terms of safety. Now, pilots, and I know this firsthand, even if they've been a pilot and have maybe, let's say, 20, 30 years worth of experience, maybe thousands of hours of experience, they always use a checklist. All right, so pilots always use a checklist. All right, so the same, and you can see that pilots use multiple checklists throughout all the different portions of their flight. Even before they get in a plane, they're doing a pre-flight check of the aircraft to make sure it's airworthy. And of course, these checklists are going to depend on which aircraft they're flying and so on. But all pilots use a checklist. All right, so my point here is traders should use a checklist as well. All right, so what you want to do is minimize your mistakes. As traders, occasionally, we're all going to make a mistake once in a while. The main thing is make sure that mistake does not cost you a lot of money, or preferably eliminate the mistakes. So one thing I recommend, this is just a sample of a checklist you could use before you get into a trade. One, is there any pending news coming out? Do we have an employment report coming out in the next 5 minutes or anything like that? This morning we had the unemployment claims report, for example. All right, so next thing, have I met my conditions for entering a trade? Next one is, am I choosing the correct instrument to trade in? Do I have the current contract? In the futures, we have a rollover, so make sure that you're trading the current contract. Have you chosen an ATM strategy? ATM is a term within NinjaTrader identifying a template that you can set up to identify where your stops and profit targets are placed once you enter a trade. Have I selected the correct account to trade? Okay, so you don't want to, well, let's say you want to trade live, but you've chosen a sim account, and let's say you make 10 points or however many points you make on the trade, only to find out that you've been trading your sim account rather than your live account, or vice versa. Number 6, position size. Very, very important. In fact, I will contend that this area of position sizing is one of the biggest, most important parts of your trading. It really has a lot to do with your risk management. All right, number 7, think. One thing I try to do before I press the button to enter a trade, just kind of take a second to make sure that I covered all my bases, and that this is something that I have identified all the criteria for my entry point into the trade. All right, so after I get done trading at the end of the day, make sure that I don't have any open positions. If my intention is to be flat, I want to make sure I don't have any open positions. So you can look at the NinjaTrader platform. There's a tab called Positions. You can see if you have any open positions. Cancel any pending orders. Also with NinjaTrader, you can set your platform to global simulation mode. That way it's not going to do anything, not going to do any trades on your behalf or execute any orders that may be sitting out there except in simulation mode. Also in the NinjaTrader platform, there's a very good facility for backing up all of your NinjaTrader things like your ATM strategies, your log files, your trace files, any custom indicators that you have loaded. You can back that up within NinjaTrader. I recommend doing that at least once a week. All right, so here's the screen. If you can check any pending orders just by clicking on this Orders tab and click on Cancel All Orders. Global Simulation Mode, you can go to this Tools menu, go down to Global Simulation Mode, put a check mark next to it. I like to do that at the end of every day. All right, so we're going to do a quick run through here of our Trendicator charts and indicators. You can see our charts are very visual, okay, very visual. Okay, so the charts are green. Each price bar for a move up based on our own algorithms is green for a move up, red for a move down. So essentially what our charts are really telling you, for any price bar, which direction that bar moved. Okay, so we've also put automated signals on the screen, which really in essence are looking for the current trend. Okay, so here we had a buy signal on a higher low, and here we had a sell signal on a lower high. Here's another lower high. So that's where we're getting the buy and sell signals. Now those are, again, based on our own proprietary algorithms that determine trend. Okay, so here we're in an uptrend, had a buy signal. Here we're in a downtrend, took a sell signal. Downtrend here took a sell signal. All right, so here is another example of a chart where we had a sell signal. And the red line above the price bars too can be used as your trade management line. Okay, so with NinjaTrader 8, we have the ability to attach an order to an indicator. All right, so once we're in a trade, in a short trade, you'd be attaching the trailing stop order to this red indicator line. In a long trade, you'd have a green indicator line underneath the price bars. All right, so here is this happens to be a volume chart. Again, these are our Trendicator charts. See, we have the automated buy signals. Again, volume chart, and this happens to be on the E-mini. All right, so again, here's sell signal here. Again, these are all based on our charts as they interpret the trend. Also, each price bar is telling you which way the market moved on that particular bar. Here we came back, had a buy signal, and moved up. So the Trendicator chart, you can see the signals are built into the screen. Each price bar will tell you the direction on that particular bar. Now, one thing that's very nice and unique about our charts is they don't skip around. Where they really do a good job of calling out these major turning points in the market. Another unique feature of our charts are these bars with a gold frame. We call those consolidation bars. So typically, when we get a consolidation bar and move above it, we typically trend higher. Consolidation bar and move below it, trend lower. Consolidation bar here, went below it and trended lower. Here we had a consolidation bar and moved above it. All right, so Trendicator charts, automated signals, very visual. Also, like I said, in an up move, this green trade management line can be used as your automated trailing stop. NinjaTrader 8 has the ability to attach an order to an indicator. So in a long position, you'd be attaching a sell stop to this green line. In a short position, you'd be attaching a buy stop to the red line. So again, that's the automated signals. Buy signal here, buy signal here. All right, so some additional things you can do to automate your trading. That's the ATM strategies. We can create an ATM strategy with our stop loss, that's done in terms of ticks, and profit target in terms of ticks. All right, so that's the ATM strategy. So to me, the more that you can do to automate things in your trading, the better. So again, we've automated the signals, automated the trailing stops. Again, here's 3 sell signals. 3 sell signals here. All right, so this is the Dow chart. Here we've got buy signals, a number of different buy signals on the Dow. Again, Dow chart. Buy signal at 23,031, and you can see here we're trading at about 23,116. So move up on this particular chart. All right, so sell signal here followed by 4 buy signals. All right, so just another reminder, if you haven't already sent an email to support at NaviTrader, do so. You will be invited to 2 free weeks of our live market room sessions. The reason we do the live market room sessions is so people can come into our room under actual live market conditions and see our charts and the indicators working under real-time conditions. All right, so for everyone who has sent an email, you will receive a $100 coupon toward our special today, and you will be eligible for our drawing. We're going to have 2 winners for a 1-year subscription to our Strategy Finder. The Strategy Finder is using the strategy analyzer within NinjaTrader to analyze our charts and identify to basically backtest our charts. All right, so again, if you send an email to support@navitrader.com, you're going to get 2 free weeks in our live room along with our trader tips videos. And for everyone who's attended today, we do have a special, and that is...
Do you mind if I make a quick announcement to everyone? Anyone who is receiving kickback when emailing. William, I just seen your message come in. Please make sure that you are using the correct email address. Previously there was a typo in that email address, so it's being re-entered into the room, and I am going to put it one more time, and go ahead and send those emails in, as the drawing will be closing soon. Go ahead and take it away.
Okay, no problem. All right, so again, for everyone in attendance today, we do have a special, and that is a four-year subscription to our Trendicator charts, our Trade Finder, our automator system, which puts the actual buy and sell signals on the screen. You'll also get 4 months in our member room, and we give unlimited online support. For everyone who does register as a member too, we do a personal one-on-one setup session to help you get started, make sure all your charts are coming up correctly. And you will get a license for up to 2 of your own personal computers. For the 4-year special, for everyone in attendance today, you will get a $100 coupon, so that makes it $31.77. And if you'd like to know how you can save $700, bringing it down to $24.77, just send an email to support@NaviTrader.com. So off the special, if you'd like to save an additional $700, to send an email to support@NaviTrader.com, or you can always call our 800 number, which is on our website. All right, so I really want to express my thanks to Juanita and NinjaTrader, all the great people at NinjaTrader, for helping us to put on this event today. And I want to thank everyone for joining us. If anyone has any questions at all, be sure and give us a call here at NaviTrader, or send an email to support@NaviTrader.com. So again, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Hey Steve, did you want to announce the winners of today's contest, or are you going to email them privately?
Hey, yeah, I still need to do that. I'll have that here in just a second. Okay, so I've got two winners for the contest today. First one is Karen Fry, and second winner, N-O-N-I-N-O-S. Well, Nani, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but those are the 2 winners. So again, thanks everyone for joining us. And do join us for the upcoming live market sessions we will have. And again, you'll be invited to those just by sending an email to support@NaviTrader.com. So let me go ahead and turn this back over to Juanita.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Janie. I know you're in the room with us here, and you're kind of monitoring from the back, but thank you so much for both of you being in the room today. We definitely appreciate the NaviTrader is able to join us and give such great presentations. Everyone in attendance here today will receive an on-demand recording of today's event, so please keep an eye out for that email. NinjaTrader Ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients. If you do find value in them, we hope that you'll attend them on a regular basis. You can use the following link to review our upcoming schedule of webinars, as well as review previous webinars that we've recorded. We'd like to remind you that all the information provided in this was that of NaviTraders and not of NinjaTraders. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we do appreciate the time that you spend with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from everyone here at NinjaTrader Ecosystem. Thank you again, Steve. Thank you, Janie. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.